He's the head man there with the Red Sox, play-by-play guy. Got a great booth with Eck and Remy. He'll do all 60 from a studio there at Nesson, and he says hello. Dave, long time. Good to talk again. How are you today, pal? Okay?
Chris, how are you? Great to talk to you. Great to talk some baseball finally.
There you go. First off, Renicky, listen, seamlessly, I would feel he'd fit in. He's a good guy. He's a veteran. He can handle everything that's thrown at him. I like that choice here for this 60-game sked. Let me hear there first. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think you're right on about that, Chris. I think he's the quiet man. You know, when he says something, it means something. He was a great bench coach for Alex Cora. People have to remember Alex Cora is no longer here. One of many big changes in Boston. But he's a great fit. He's done it before, too, had some success in Milwaukee. I think he's the perfect guy for this situation, if anybody can be, as strange as this is for everyone.
100%. Now, listen, the issue with the Red Sox is their starting pitching. Rodriguez is out, obviously no Sale. Eovaldi will start that over. I mean, their starting pitching, Dave, is very shaky. And although I like their offense, and, it's the Red Sox, I think that pitching could be their undoing. They're going to have to find some gems. Give me some thoughts there.
Got to win games 8-6, 9-7. You've seen a lot of Red Sox teams do that in the past. I don't know if this club is capable of making a run at the postseason. We'll see. 60 games is so weird. It's a 100-yard dash. Maybe you can cover up some of those things with the rotation, but you got a lot of journeyman guys. Ryan Weber went last night in the exhibition game, pitched pretty well, but you got guys like Brian Johnson. Martin Perez is trying to resuscitate his career. That's the basis of the rotation, after you get by Eovaldi and Erod. So it is not what you'd call a deep rotation. It's the problem of the ball club.
No question. Verdugo, of course, the kid they got for the Betts trade. Is he healthy? And, listen, in a lot of ways he gets a break because there's no fans, so he won't get a harsh treatment from the Fenway faithful, so he can sort of break in a little slowly, quietly. Give me some thoughts on him. Let me hear.
I think that's big for him. The fact that, he's not going to, if he goes 0 for 17, he's not going to get crushed at Fenway Park. He's a very confident kid. He's not shy. When Big Papi came to the clubhouse at Fort Myers, he jumped right out of his locker and bear hugged David Ortiz. He wasn't waiting. So you kind of like that. Maybe that'll play well in Boston. He's a good outfielder. He's a better defensive outfielder. He's not going to be Mookie Betts. Nobody else is. But the kid has a shot, and he's a big, strong kid. He might play well in Fenway Park, but he has to get off to a good start.
I know, listen, it's a scenario for that front office. I mean, you want to win some games, but, they're trying to retool, rebuild that farm system, get that luxury tax number down. It's kind of a weird program there that the Red Sox are going to try to navigate in 2020. Dave, touch on that for a sec. Go ahead.
Well, as you know, the Red Sox don't like to wait around for 2 or 3 years and wait for a rebuild to kick in. I don't see that happening, and I don't even look at this as a retooling year necessarily. They still feel like with the offense, with Xander Bogaerts, Rafi Devers, who's a superstar about to really, I think, jump into the baseball consciousness even more, and obviously J.D. Martinez, this is a team that's going to be fun to watch offensively. They can still win some ball games. What they're hoping for here is get out of the gate fast like everybody else, not go 6-13 as they did a year ago and torpedo their season. But I think this is going to be an odd season until the Red Sox once again step up and start spending some money. Rebuilding the farm system is exactly why Chaim Bloom was brought in. He did it at Tampa Bay. He did it with pitching, and that's what the Red Sox have to start to do. Chris, they've got to develop starting pitching from the system.
Do you think there's any way that they would bring Cora back in 2021 as their manager?
I do. I very much do. I'm not saying that's the plan right now in stone somewhere at Fenway Park, but I think there's a really good likelihood. He's beloved at Fenway. The front office loved him. The ownership loved him. Guys like Eduardo Rodriguez, who won 19 games last year. A lot of that had to do with the coaching and the managing of Alex Cora, the blossoming of Rafi Devers. A lot of that had to do with him. I think there's a real good chance he would return. You're not going to get anyone to say that right now, but I believe that'll be the case. And he will have paid his dues with the cheating scheme.
I have no problem with it, 100%. I feel bad for Renicky in that spot, but I have no problem with it. Now the 7:30 starts in Boston. I think that's why not? No fans. Better prime time, so you might as well play the games a little later, Dave. Your bedtime increases, but what the heck? That's the way it goes, right?
I'm getting older. I need a little earlier bedtime. But I'll tell you what, I'm with you. 7:30. The kids are not in school, okay? People can stay up a little later. And you know what? We're not going to have these interminable extra inning games anymore. Red Sox play more of those than anybody. You're not going to see, at least for this season, You start that runner at second base. I know a lot of people don't like it, but let's get the game over inside 4 hours if we can do that. The 7:30, I think there's some whining about that. I don't think it's that big a deal. I really don't.
No, nor do I, and I have no problem with the guy at second base in the top of the 10th inning in this kind of year. Universal DH, do you like the rule? Who's going to do that? Martinez? Who's going to do that for the Red Sox, Dave? What do you say?
I do. He'll play some outfield because he likes to get involved defensively, but I think for the most part it's going to be him. Verdugo will probably DH some too, depending on who's on the mound that day. I think you're going to see it moving forward forever, Chris. I think it's overdue. Enough of pitchers hitting. I know a lot of people love the strategy or whatever. I say let's get a hitter in both leagues and really have some fun with that. I believe this won't just be a test game. Maybe some of these other rules are just going to be for 2020. I think that one's going to stick permanently.